At the city hall, that red color you see on the wall, that's actually original paint. Okay, so that's lasted a very long time.
Money's worth out of that job.
Yeah. And again, you guys see the columns and all that. Like I said, the columns, it wasn't so much for, as part of the structure. It was more symbolical. Here it's showing the administrative purpose that this building had at one
So
point.
it looks like there's a slot for the beam right there. So would it have sat on those columns?
On those
still?
columns here in the front, on the facade, yes. Also on those two over there too, it would have had a beam going. That's so that they could also continue the row of blocks of limestone on top of that and complete the wall. And that way you have these three openings.
So what building was this?
This was the city hall where
Oh.
they kept the records of the
So
city.
what was that one?
That was the palace, the one over
Oh,
there in the
that
back.
was the
that was the
palace,
palace where
and
the,
that's
where the
City
ruler
Hall.
used to live.
Okay.
So 8 columns is more powerful?
It's just all part of the symbolism. Yeah, there wasn't really a norm or a standard as far as how many columns or how many this and that. Now this building over here, guys, this temple this is considered a temple, by the way. Now how can you tell the difference between a house and a temple? Really easy, guys. You see the roof on that building? The roof is solid. It's solid concrete, okay? But the houses or buildings like the administrative houses, the buildings had thatch roofs instead. That's why we're missing a roof on this building over here, and we're missing a roof on all the houses we've seen so far. If you compare all the temples we have behind us, all the temples have solid concrete roofs, okay? It's the same principle we find in the scriptures. They wanted to use the most precious materials that they can find in this area. And so you wouldn't use thatch roof for a temple because that's something that could vanish over time. And another thing too is that when you go to the front side of that building, we're heading over there in a minute, but the building has lots of decoration, lots of carvings, lots of paints, and so lots of work and effort was given to that building. Now something really interesting though is that there's a reason why that specific temple was not included in this general temple area that we have here behind us. And that's because that temple was dedicated to the goddess Ixchel. Ixchel was the mother of the gods, the lady who gave birth to Kukulkan. Now back in those days, the Mayas were part of a patriarchal society. At least the people that live in here, guys, these guys are what we call machistas. Have you guys ever heard of that term before?
Machismo.
Machismo? You guys
Yeah,
heard that word?
machismo. It's all around.
It's all around us, yeah. It's in the church.
I know.
I don't want to
Don't
bring up
start
that
that.
down.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. Take that away, guys. But anyway, yeah, so these guys were machistas, and for them, men had the power, men had everything, and so men ruled over everything. So that's why only Kukulkan, and I'm going to show you guys in a minute, but also King Chahal, the sun god, they were the only ones portrayed on these temples over here behind us. But the goddess Ixchel, she wasn't as special and as sacred to be inside this area, so she had her temple over here. And this temple was visited by the people from outside of the city. Now the people from outside, for them, it was a whole nother game. For them, they were part of a matriarchal society. Have you guys ever heard that Mexicans and Latin Americans are very, like mama's boys? Have you guys ever heard that before? It's true, and it's all because of our roots, because of our ancestors. When the Spanish came, they killed all the intellectual people, all the people that were educated, so they got rid of that patriarchal society, and they kept the lower class families only. So when the Spanish came in, teaching them that, hey, your goddess Ixchel that you believe in, that gave birth to the god of the feathered serpent, this is really the Virgin Mary. They actually did that conversion. They actually translated these deities to Christianity so that this way the future generations would kind of just fall in to Catholicism, okay? Well, a result of that was that today, guys, Mexican Catholics, guess who they're more devoted to?
Virgin Mary.
The Virgin Mary Guadalupe over Christ himself. There's more basilicas and cathedrals dedicated to the Virgin Mary Guadalupe than to Christ or the Sacred Trinity. And it's all a result of all this, guys. On the facade of that building, we're going to see handprints. Everyone that came to visit the goddess Ixchel each year. Imagine a huge procession, guys. People coming in from outside with parades, with music, with offerings. They would bring all their offerings and surround this building with all sorts of stuff. But then they would stain their hands in red paint and stain their handprints on the wall to show that this year we came to visit the church. That's why, many Catholic traditions weren't so hard for these people to adopt. Have you guys heard of, ¿cómo se dice lo de ceniza? Ash Wednesday?
Yep.
The tradition of Ash Wednesday? People would, actually put an ash on their forehead. And they would stay with that mark for the whole day because they want the world to know that, hey, this year I went and I was part of the tradition, and the priest actually put the marking on my forehead. Well, all of this, guys, for the Mayas was not so different, at least for the lower class Mayan people. So it was easy for them to fall into Catholicism But for the high class, they had to wipe them all out. Otherwise, they would uprise and go against the Spanish. It's quite interesting. Now the temple that's over here in the middle, guys, we're gonna head over. We're gonna walk over to the